I guess if you could offer any advice to people who like want to take streaming seriously, and like, I guess what would you advise people to do? Like if people who are, who want to, I guess, get better at streaming, or maybe shoot for partner one day. What would you want to get? What advice would you give? Make friends and don't be a loner. Or be stupid. Or be stupid good at a game. Okay. So you're still of the mind that playing one game really well it can get you there? And VR, would you say VRC turned out to be that game for you? Welcome to another episode of the Sweet Talking Podcast with your host, Neferty. And tonight we are joined with a very much, I would say, arguably an OG of the VRChat community and just in streaming in general. We have Shocks _VR here tonight, and we'll be having a conversation with her. So I hope you all are looking forward to that. But before we get into the actual podcast tonight, I want to, let you all know a couple of things. I want to firstly, before we get started, I want to quickly say thank you to my patrons. My patrons have been supporting me, the content that I do, and allow me to do cooler stuff and further my ability to create better content and more entertaining things for my stream. So I'm so grateful. If you'd like to help me do more things with my content, you can check out my Patreon at patreon.com/Neferty. So please do check that out. And if you're interested in assisting me with what I want to do and what I want to create. But for the time being, I'm just glad that you're here, and I certainly hope that you enjoy tonight's podcast. So as I said, tonight we are joined by none other than someone who I think a lot of people would argue is a pretty big deal. I think Shocks is a pretty big deal. And of course, she's going to be very, very modest about it, which of course I would be too if someone said that to me. I would be too. So we have Shocks VR here tonight, but I also do want to say one more last thing before we get into it tonight. One last thing. So, just so you all are aware, Shocks is a mute. So, we've done a mute interview in the past. We had an interview with Neppy. I believe Neppy was my 11th episode. So, if you want to see how that went, you can check that out on YouTube. Well, you're watching this on YouTube right now, so feel free to check that out on YouTube. But this is my second mute interview, so you have a general idea of what that's going to be like. And this will be a little bit different, as Shocks will be communicating through text. There will be no additional voice. I will be the only voice here. So, but you will definitely know what Shocks is saying. I guarantee you. And I will read everything that Shocks says out loud. But you guys will be able to read it as well. So strap in, pay attention, listen well, and I think you'll have a great time. You'll learn a lot about this very prolific streamer. So I'm very much looking forward to getting to know her, and I hope you all are too. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's get into it. So Shocks. I said this to you earlier when we first met up earlier tonight. I said this was I felt like this was like the first time that I was seeing you in person. And by saying obviously I mean in VRC. But it feels like it's like the first time, but it's not. Like we've crossed paths in a previous event. We're very much kind of connected to the rave scene, especially with Saturn Rave and the Undergarden as well. So we've actually crossed paths once, but it was it must have been such a short time that I never really had a chance to interact with you during that time. But we must have saw each other because you remember. So yeah, you have a very good memory, very good memory. So so I'm just really excited to actually kind of sit down with you because I have recently had an opportunity to really kind of talk with you, interact with you, mainly during my own streams. Occasionally, like, I've popped into your streams when I haven't been streaming, and that's been a lot of fun. But yeah, recently we've kind of been exchanging words, especially with AC6, which we'll talk about later on. We'll talk about Armored Core 6 later on. But but we've been having a really, really great time, and I've learned a lot from you. But we're going to talk about a couple of other things, mainly about you. We're going to start off with you. Yes, you, of course. So can you tell us just very quickly, well, not quickly, well, use as much detail as you'd like. I don't know why I said quickly, but explain to us, like, who are you, and as many words as you'd like to share. Hi, I'm Shox. I've been streaming VRC for about 4 years or so, and I've always been mute on Twitch. Okay. Anything else you want to share? I have a degree in music performance and associates in art. Interesting. So I did actually want to ask you about that. About like what you were doing before you became a streamer. So before we get into that, actually, I want to ask you just a little bit more about like just the character, like the persona that you've established. You know, being a streamer, being a content creator. Essentially, you're an entertainer, like yours truly. So can you tell me a little bit about, I guess, your name? How did you land on the name of Shox? 'My name, Shox, comes from a game called World of Warcraft, where I was an elemental shaman that knocked people off cliffs. So you came up with the name. You came up with the name Shox based off of. Oh, is it? Oh, okay. So it sounds like there was a character, or she was the character, but we're gonna find out. They gave you that name and you rolled with it after a name change in the game. Oh, okay. Cool. All right. So basically, okay. There we go. Yeah, I already read that. I quickly forgot. But yeah, that makes sense. So that's cool. So it was basically a nickname that you got after while playing World of Warcraft. Interesting. And how long ago was that? (2009 to 2010). Wow, that was a ways ago. Long time ago. Okay. Cool. So, okay. All right, so that makes sense. Gotcha. So you were big into World of Warcraft back in the day. You were a big player. Okay, interesting. So like that makes sense. I mean, there are a lot of people who were into World of Warcraft around the time when it first launched. I remember a lot of people really being very excited about that game. Top 3% multiple times PvP arena battlegrounds. Okay, nice. It's so great that like it's so great 'cause I've never played WoW. I've actually never touched WoW myself, but I know like terminologies because I'm a gamer, so like I try to know as much as I can about various games. So like when you wrote BG, yeah, gamer slang, yeah. So so like I try to keep up with things because even though I don't play the game, I want to like know more about it just so I can be able to talk about it, kind of intellectually if I need to. So that's really cool. So once again, showing how much of a god gamer you are. Clearly. Again, we'll be talking about the gaming stuff later on. But yeah, that is super cool. So Shocks was a nickname you got while playing World of Warcraft. And what were you doing before streaming? You said you have an associate's in performance and art. So yeah, what were you up to before streaming? I was doing part-time information technology work and part-time music gigging. So you were DJing at musicals? Like, were you like just DJing? Oh, you're playing music. Oh, you're playing music at musicals, weddings, churches, and formal events. So you said, yeah, you have a sax clarinet. Oh, okay. Wow. Okay, so you are very musical, and like in like the classical sense too, with like using wind instruments and such. That's really cool. Very cool. So you were doing part-time IT work and playing at various events. So, Oh, okay. She's got more to say. She's got more to add on. Nice. Yeah, I had no, like, it's so interesting to find out what streamers are doing, like, beforehand. Like, before they got into streaming or even knew about streaming. It's so interesting to find out. But, Shock's gonna add on a little bit more. When COVID hit around 2020-ish, it kind of ruined your income because of social distancing, and streaming took off from there. Yeah? Yeah, I think that kind of goes like that. I think it's pretty common for a lot of people who were doing the streaming thing around that period of time. I think that's pretty common, which makes sense. I mean, I've looked at your numbers, but we'll talk about that. We'll talk about we'll talk about your streaming career and how you've risen and how you managed to get to where you are now. So we'll definitely talk about that for sure. I'm very curious to know, and like where your head has been, where your thoughts were, all that kind of stuff. So we'll be talking about that for sure. But that's very cool. So so basically, like, due to COVID, you got further into streaming. When did you first? Before I ask, actually, no, I'll just ask the question. When did you? Oh, okay, nope. Shocks beat me to it. So Shocks is gonna add on a little bit more. a little bit more. We're gonna find out a little bit more. We will be talking in more detail about Shox' streaming career later on. July 18th, when you first got your index. Okay, cool. So that was when you first considered getting into streaming. Okay, cool. Yeah. Gotcha. Okay, nice. So, yeah, we'll be digging into that later on when we talk about the more streaming stuff. But more about you. So, yes, you. Yes, the adorable tiger in front of me. So, so how did you, I guess, land on being the pineapple tiger? How did that come to be? So surprisingly, I didn't start out as this. I was actually a human model. When I had a falling out with an ex, I moved groups to the furries. Wow, okay, so, there's more. There's more to that, okay. Interesting. No, this is to be expected. I expect there to be like detailed answers. So I want the details. So we'll get it. We'll get as much as we can. Then met many friends and made an original character yourself with someone you might know called Laxi. And I like green and yellow, and she made you an OC. Oh, okay. Very interesting. Okay. So a falling out with an ex caused you to move to a completely different group of friends, which all turned out to be furries. And Shox ended up with a new OC. So when I first started with your original character, they said I looked like a pineapple and you ran with it. And here we are. Can you show the pineapple again? And where did that come from? Where'd you pull that from? Yes, you know. Can you do it for us again? Okay, nice. Very, very nice. Okay, cool. So as most women are known for doing, you know, they keep most things in their booba, like their phones and such. Shox keeps pineapples. Just in case you know, she gets hungry or someone gets hungry, you know? It's beautiful. I love that. That's I've never seen you do that. Like not even on stream before. So that's really, really interesting. I didn't know you could do that. So that's very, very cool. So so the goal like from the start was like green. It was green and yellow, and you ended up as a tiger. So you knew you wanted to be a tiger. So that was like the original design. And like how old is this design? Like, how many iterations have you had of this particular look? Assuming there was like an original Shox version, and then you worked up to this point. This might be like 3.5. Okay, all right, nice. So there have been a couple of steps to get to this point. Gotcha, gotcha. Okay. All right, so we're getting a live look. Okay, so this version is this the original? Wow. Okay, so this is original shocks apparently. I wonder how many have seen this. Have you shown anybody this version? Do you think many people have seen it? Okay, so this is version 2. Oh, this is 1.5. So this one is 1.5. Okay, cool. And the other one was just 1.0, the original. Awesome, awesome. Okay, okay. All right, so I guess we'll just kind of we'll go through them all. I think Shox is gonna show us all of them. Why not? Again, she's kind of a big deal. So might as well. You know, the funny thing is, I think this is maybe the first form that I've seen you in. I think this is like the first version of you I've seen you in. When I first found out about you. So this is which version, would you say? Version 2? Okay, version 2. Nice. And it's very interesting that the hair went... The original, well, 1.5 had green hair, and this version has blonde hair. The blue eyes have remained pretty consistent. Yeah, lots of outfits. So you're able to change your hair with this one. And this is still the original, like, well, not the original, this is still version 2. Alright, so Christmas Shox. Like 2.5. Okay. So about 2.5. Okay, okay. And then that hairstyle. This might be a different version. First pigtails. Okay. So this is a completely new Abby, or is this just a completely new outfit? And this one has the pineapple. So is this the first version that can do the pineapple pulling? No, all of them can? Oh wow. Okay. Very cool. Very cool. So this is still like 2.5, 2.6. Yeah. Okay. Okay. You know, actually, I take that back. This may be the first version that I've seen. This may be the first way that I've seen you, I think. This was Pride Month with Twitch. Okay, okay. Gotcha, gotcha. Nice, nice. So yeah, this is, that's Pride Month Shox. Which I've seen you in this one maybe a couple of times, and that one has a lot of, like, hair change colors. I like it, I like it. Very cool, very cool. And so are we at, well, so I guess, well, I wonder what 3.0, well, I know 3.0 looks a certain way, but you said the original one that you were in is 3.5, so. So this was 3.0, 90% custom Avi. So 90% of this Avi is a custom design, while the other ones were much lower. Would you say? Okay. Nice, nice. Okay, so this was made by your friend that you're... Oh, wait, no. Your friend made your original one that you were talking about before. And this one was made by... I wonder, was it made by... This is like 5 people. Oh, wow. So this version is like 5 people. Okay. Okay. And Ayame put it all together. Okay. Gotcha. So, do excuse the chat boxes. You know, Shox has been changing heights. So, excuse the chat boxes. Yeah. Alright, yeah, that's good. Alright. Nice. So this is 3.0, and what we were seeing before is this is 3.5. Nice. Okay. So I think you're the first guest that I've had that has basically like had all of their their looks on hand. So it's good to see them. It's good to see like every form that kind of led up to this point. Like you know, how ideas evolve and how looks evolve over time. It's definitely very interesting to see. But yeah, Shox is definitely the first guest that I've had that's gone through every single one of their looks. You got a lot of magical girl, Cupid, tons of outfits for this one. Oh, nice. Okay, so yeah, I imagine that like if you're gonna have a main Abby, like you're gonna have a lot of like variations, so you don't have to like keep switching between other Abbies. That makes sense. A lot of toggles and such. Yeah. I'm hoping one day. Well, I mean, we're getting there. We're working towards like Nefertiti like 1.0. Like this isn't even mine. This is a public Abby essentially. So we haven't even gotten to 1.0 yet. So for me, but we'll get there. I'm sure we will get there. We'll get there in due time, because obviously I need help with it, and the person I have helping me has been super helpful. So you can get me in touch. I can get you in touch with some people. Well, thank you. Okay, that'd be sick. For 1.0, I'm working with someone right now, but we will see. We'll see. I'm always happy to get references from like other people to get new ideas, and you know, there are so many talented people that you know and that I know. So I'm definitely down to know more and to know more people who are doing this kind of work. Super good to see. So thank you for giving us that little showcase of how far along you've come. So thank you for that. History for furry Shox. History of furry Shox. Yes, indeed. Very much so. What did your human form look like? Can you describe that for us? I'm just curious in general, because that's just kind of like we will never see your human form. At least I don't think we will. I'd be surprised if you had it. But yeah, I'm just curious to know. Was by an avatar maker called Ghoul. It was public. Oh, okay. So you start with a public Abby like most people do. Got you. Okay. Makes sense. Nice. All right. So we learned about your name. We learned about your Abbies, like your different evolutions over time. And what you were doing before you got into streaming. Were you let me see. I think we can jump into VRC stuff, because I want to know a little bit more about like what you were doing like prior, but I'm not really sure how to kind of inquire about that, which is, you know, yeah. You're an open book. I know. So I guess did anything lead up to, I guess, how did you first find out about streaming? We'll go there. Well, I'll ask that question. How did you first find out about streaming in the first place? Before VRC, you were just school, music, and video games. Okay, yeah. So you were just I mean, you were very much kind of into the common things that most people are into these days. Okay. Very cool. Very cool. I'm surprised we haven't seen you, play a little sax on stream. You've done it before? Oh, a little bit. Okay. Interesting. Like, I would have imagined that someone like you would have been playing guitar or something, or bass. It's surprising, yeah, because like you're a punk rocker. That's kind of how your look has evolved. So it's interesting to find out that you were like doing the saxophone and such. The original streamer who got you into streaming was named Odom Fire, and that's what got you into streaming and evolved from there. And how long ago was that? Like when you first found out about streaming, did you like originally like immediately start to think about streaming around 2018, 2017? Okay. Was that when you first started thinking about streaming, or it was just a vague idea? Like you liked the idea of streaming, but then you kind of decided to start. I enjoyed the vibes and comfort they gave their viewers, and based a lot of your things off of that aspect. Nice. Okay. Yeah, I think, there's always a streamer that inspires us to kind of get into it. Usually, and like obviously we take from what others are doing, and then we kind of evolve into our own style. And we will definitely be talking about like how your style has evolved over time. And all right, Shux has a little bit more to add to that. Love to hear it. Yeah. But yeah, like it's definitely like I definitely have found, like, for me, I found a good bit of inspiration from a number of different streamers myself. Unfortunately, they don't stream anymore. That's a bummer. But just like with performers in general, some people do it for a period of time, and then they do something else. They move on to something else. But yeah, some of us stick around, some of us move on. But hey, you've been around for a very, very long time, and we'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about that in a little while. So, okay. So let's see. Back in my day. Back in my day, we didn't have ways to see things. We had to use Steam VR to do all of our stuff. We didn't have trackers back then. Yeah, it was a very, very different time for sure. And things only got way more interesting as time went on and technology improved, and even during COVID. So a lot of things kind of evolved just during those times and regressed in some ways, but I would say there was a fair bit of evolution, especially when it comes to entertainment during that time. Online entertainment very much boomed during that period of time. I think most of us, most of the people that I've interviewed started streaming around the time of that period of time where people were social distancing and things like that. And they were either streaming or they were they start in 2019, and then once everything kind of kicked off with people being inside, that's when people started to really grow and take off from there. Avatars themselves have gotten so much better. Yeah, the quality and the technology to improve the looks and feels of avatars, like even like Fizzbones, like that's a major like improvement of interactivity, and just how dynamic and very cool and lifelike avatars can look these days. So yeah, it's always really cool to see. And sometimes you catch glimpses of it. I certainly did when I first started VRC, of like just older style Avies that, you know, most people would never wear, kind of thing. Yeah. So yeah, let's talk about somewhat VRC, since we're already in that vein already. So how did you hear about VRC and get into it? And I'm gonna take a drink while you're typing. YouTube and just fun videos. I see. So, what was it? Any YouTuber specifically that you started watching that got you into it? Oh, Odom Fire was a VRC streamer. Okay, interesting. Odom Fire, Lola, like the super old VRC users. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So I guess what was it that kind of pushed you to try like VRC specifically? Aside, I mean, obviously it was the YouTubers, but like, I guess, like, what was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this now, kind of thing? What did that for you? Well, I saw the index getting released, and that really drove you to be like, I can do this and make people happy. And here we are 4-ish years later. Interesting. So you wanted to start streaming, like you wanted to like reach out to people and ultimately try to make people's days. You wanted to bring joy into people's lives. Is that why you enjoy music so much? Or you got into like performance music to like make people smile and feel something? Okay. So they're kind of one and the same. It's just kind of an extension, just a different form. Absolutely. Okay, yeah. I get that. Just like that motivation to just, it's kind of like, it's kind of, you're moving into something else that is just, you're achieving the same goal, but just in a different way, which is really cool. And you can reach a lot more people, a lot more interesting people who are like, I guess, more into like games and music, and obviously VRChat. So yeah, definitely a good way to reach a whole slew of people. That's really cool. Okay. I just remembered a question about your avatar style that I wanted to ask you. So I don't know if you've been told this before, but you have a very a very attractive avatar. I'll just say that. It's attractive avatar. But it has like a very kind of silly vibe to it, but also it's like silly and sexy. Is that what you were going for with the design? Like, is that kind of what you had in your mind with the original version of yourself, or was that something that kind of evolved over time? If that's like an accurate description of what you were going for with the Shock's look. I can't believe I forgot that question. That was, I think that's a very, very important question. So it's more analytical, based off of like your general appearance and how people see you. And as a streamer, like your branding is like super, super important. So being able to like express a certain like feel to people, I imagine was part of your equation. But she's typing it out. She's letting us know the deets. It was more so how I feel about yourself and how I wanted it to come across as, to represent yourself as close as possible. So, okay, that makes sense. I think most people want their avies to reflect who they are, their identity, and such. Like, despite this being a public avi, for me, this does kind of capture me in a good way. I think people like can relate, and I can see that. So like you see yourself as silly and sexy, or like what adjectives would you use to like describe what you were aiming for? A lot of other furries have like multiple original characters, and you don't want it to be you don't want to be anything like them IRL. I just have this single avatar original character to represent you. Okay, so like you're saying that like this is how you identify as you. It's just this is you. There aren't like various other avies that you rotate between. This is just. You just want one to represent you. Nice. Okay. Got you. And I can definitely understand that. That's generally what I would be going for too. I know I switch between a couple of avies, like one or two, aside from this one. But ideally, I would also like to have like one that represents me as well. I think being able to kind of hone in on who you are and have a vision of how you want people to identify with you, I think is super, super important. Not just like for yourself and as an entertainer, but also as like for branding. Just so people can have a general idea of like what they're going to get every time. But the theme like matches, it's like a key aspect they identify you with. Got you. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, so basically, like when people think of shocks, they know what they have a picture of what that looks like. They don't have like multiple visions of what that is. Like shocks is a yellow tiger that has a very kind of friendly appearance, but also can be very, very sexy and fun. So, but would you describe yourself as silly and sexy, or would you use other adjectives? I'm curious how you would describe yourself. Like, how do you use to describe yourself? Looks like she has a lot of adjectives. But I think that's good that Shox has a very clean way, a very clear-cut way of how she describes herself, and she just told us. So, Shox describes herself as silly, LOL, yes. Sure, sexy, I don't know. I don't really view yourself physically well. LOL, I feel as a good amount of people do too, but it's like an ongoing battle. So okay, let me try to kind of unpack that. So you're saying that you don't really see yourself as sexy? You do? Oh, not really. Okay. But you're kind of like you're trying to like get to a point where you can feel comfortable with yourself and happy with how you look physically. And obviously you wanted a look that kind of represents you and helps you to feel more comfortable, like whenever you're streaming, entertaining and stuff. Okay, cool. But you do kind of identify with like this silly kind of fun, bright, happy look. Okay, cool, nice. But I mean, like, you know, I had to say like sexy because, you know, you do have those pics though. Well, let's not sugarcoat this. So I'm curious how that goes. How you feel about that. I'm sure others are curious too. Well, that's another story. I do enjoy taking pics. That's another story. Okay. So she's gonna tell us what that other story is. I was at a point where my avatar, yourself, was getting sexualized in things I didn't exactly align with. So I sought to take control of how people view her, I would imagine. That makes sense. I like that. I think that's very, very, very smart. I think that's especially important when it comes to just women in general on the internet, being able to like take control of how you want people to view you sexually, so that you are fully in control of that. Yeah. So yeah, how people view you sexually, and you can semi-control how you're viewed if you're more open of what you like and don't like. Fair. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, having that sense of ownership that like, yeah, I'm doing these pics, I'm sharing this with you of my own will. It's not you doing it. It's what I prefer and how I want to depict myself sexually. I think that's super, super important as a female entertainer on the internet. And just in general too, like movie stars, music artists, being able to control how people view them. Just women in general, being able to like control how people view them is super, super important. Because people are bound to like do things that are unsavory, and that's not cool. Per se, if I don't like kink, for example, insert example. So and it's well known. Okay, so you don't like kink. Okay. Like if you don't like, if you insert a kink, like a specific kink. Okay, gotcha. Okay. People who know your stream and you can know, hey, she doesn't like that. Yeah. Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, alright. Okay, I understand. So basically, you want to control what kind of kinks that you're placing yourself in. You don't want others to dictate that for you. Yeah. Okay. Understood. She's got a little bit more. Like for me, while Shox is typing that out, in my personal experience, I'm kind of holding back on like I'm doing like a little bit of that, but like it's hard for me to feel like it's harder for me to take pictures of myself because the Avi isn't mine. Like that's like the hardest thing, because like it would be nice to be able to like take sexy pictures of myself, but I don't really feel confident and comfortable doing that as much as, you know, I do it. I do it occasionally, but like it feels weird when it's not like yours. It's someone else's creation that you're doing that with. So I kind of have like mixed feelings about it, at least at the moment. But, you know, hopefully, you know, once, you know, I can get a look that is uniquely mine, you know, I too can have fun with, you know, posting, you know, suggestive pics on the internet. So you don't want insert graphic kink example. Okay. To be forced on you, and if you make it known, you have some control because it's common knowledge. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Understood. Yeah. Gotcha. So you want to have control of the kinks that you engage in visually. How people engage with those. Nice. I can agree with that. I think that's awesome. It's really cool of you to do. Especially as someone who is like a mute. Mutes are very sexualized in a lot of ways in general, because of how VRC culture and all that. So very wise of you to do that and to take control of that. I like that. So let's get back into VRC. So when did you, I guess, at what point did you feel like that VRC was something that you enjoyed being on? Like, I'm assuming that you wanted to create content for VRC pretty quickly, but I guess at what point did you feel like VRC would be the kind of content that you'd want to do long term? I know for me, she's typing out right now, but I know for me, it was a no-brainer. I got into VRC the first time. It was an awesome, overwhelming time. But the more time I spent in VRC, the more I really enjoyed it. And I knew that making content for it would be ideal. Pretty much first or second time logging into VR. LOL. It was huge and an emotional experience. So I guess what made it emotional? What about it kind of made it emotional for you? So I know that, you know, VRC can be quite overwhelming, and just being able to kind of interact with people in a virtual setting can be super intense the first couple of times, and even like after years and years of doing it, it can still have very like heavy emotional implications. So, but we're gonna find out what it was for Shox. So it was my first time in VR ever. Like, no demo or anything, and the getting to choose how you look, and that you can be yourself whatsoever. You can just be yourself in VRC. Oh, what was overwhelming. Oh, okay, I got it. It was overwhelming. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. Oh yeah, so the idea of being able to be anything that you wanted and present however you wanted. I mean, I've always seen VRC as like this extension of what we've already had on the internet for a long time. You know, chat rooms, platforms where we can have usernames and people interact with one another with usernames and have they have profile pics to represent themselves in those kinds of settings. It's I think VRC is just kind of it's like a more kind of personalized version of that. And Shock says, and meeting friends and random people and sharing amazing moments. Just like having that face to face. It's like having like IMVU or like Second Life. I'm sure you've heard of those. Yeah, like it's like having those, but like right in front of you, and like you're like in it. Yeah, it's like right in front of you, which is like it's not just kind of on a screen, but it's in front of you, and that can be very, 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 very cool. And I can see why that would be like overwhelming and emotional. It's so like I think people sleep on VRC, and I think it's always good for me to hear how other people like perceive this platform. What's one thing that you would change about VRC, or think that can be improved, and one thing that you like about VRC, aside from being able to be anything that you'd want to be, or you can present however you'd like? I know when it comes to presenting however you like, there's definitely I have a couple of avies that I will always hold on to, because those avies were like the first ones that I got when I first got into VRC, and they're kind of like my own little like time capsule of like my personal evolution, like getting used to VRC. It's been really, really cool. But yeah, Shox is typing, she's doing the things, so she's gonna share her perspective. I don't want to interrupt her thoughts too much. What I like is the community 100%, and what I would change is like who can see the avatar you're in to help combat ripping further. Got you. So like you don't want people to be able to see your Avi and be able to rip it, because like, there are like precautions in place to like keep that from happening, and like I imagine you don't really do public worlds anymore, right? Yeah, so like I guess getting your avatar ripped isn't really much of a threat, I would imagine, in this case. So okay. Let's see what else Shox has to say. But I can definitely understand the overall fear of having your Avi ripped by some loser, and then put up on Gumroad or something, or you know, any other VR Avi website. Like that can be very, very scary, for sure. For example, I could hop around more if you knew your avatar was safe. I could just be you can just have you can just set up a public avatar to random users to yourself and friends. Okay, so basically you're saying like you wouldn't have to like have your avatar hidden all the time for everybody, and but you have to do that because of the threat of potentially getting it ripped. Gotcha. All right. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. I think if I had to guess, technology is definitely going to improve. I would say that VRC, the devs of VRC are aware of this issue, and they've tried to put things like that in place and tried to like create ways and barriers to keep that from happening. And there are also a lot of intelligent people in the community who are trying to figure out ways around that problem as well, since not too long ago it was a very, very huge topic of discussion among people in VRC on Twitter. So I think Shox has a little bit more to share on that. Fix easy anti-cheat, so I don't have to do workarounds to even log in. Yeah. So okay. So speaking of easy anti-cheat, are you implying that it's because of easy anti-cheat that is causing you to have like login problems or like VRC problems in general? Because if I personally had to guess, they probably have, like, I think EAC is proprietary and not like something that they developed themselves. Like, well, that's basically what I mean. It's something that they didn't develop themselves. So I don't know if they even have the means to improve it. But 100%, you have a VRC post with over 1,000 comments with similar to exact problems after an update 2 months ago. Okay. Got you. So you're basically unable. So you're having problems like just logging in. Is it that you have is that you like you can't like is it your PC getting messed up, or is it let me see, like are you having to like log in every time? Because I've had to log in myself a couple of times again. Staying in for longer than 10 minutes. Or blue screens. Really? You've had blue screen like of death because of easy anti-cheat. Okay. Wow. Interesting. It wiped your computer, it got so bad? Because of like all the was it because of all the shutdowns that happened? Oh wow, yeah, it just corrupted your entire your file system on your hard drive. Holy shit. Oh, I'm assuming you had a backup because you're a smart kitty. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but it still sucks to have to like deal with that regardless. Jeez, I had no idea. Yeah, most of it was backed up. Yeah, thank goodness. Yeah, I actually should probably make a new backup myself, given how many times my computer's had to restart on its own. I have a backup, but it's from like my fresh install that I did with a recent upgrade on my PC. But it would definitely be helpful to have like a whole a recent backup. So I gotta do that for sure. USB spare drive, yes, I definitely do. I have a 2 terabyte hard disk drive that I can just put everything on, so it's no problem. I just have to make time to do it, but I'm definitely prepared one way or another. But yeah. All right, so let's So you think the community is like the best part about VRC? Gotcha. And again, most of my guests, not all of my guests, have said the community is the most important aspect, or it's the best part of it. Do you see VRC as a game or a social platform? That's a pretty straightforward question. Hard to say. It's a bit of both. Age restriction is needed more now than ever, which they have with they've started with the content gating update. Oh, okay. It looks like Shox has some thoughts about that. I know it hasn't been fully implemented, but those of you who are keeping up with VRC updates, by the time this comes out on YouTube, this is gonna be very, very old. But hey, it is whatever. But yeah, content gating has been recently. The initial part of it has been released, But it seems like Shox has some thoughts about that. You view that as almost a self-reporting function. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's what a lot of people were saying. Because basically you have to label all of your avies and worlds. So, yeah, it's essentially your self-reporting, which is meant to ultimately, like, basically, like, they have a process in place where if you don't label your world or your avatar, it can get reported, and that will ultimately, that could get you banned, or get your world or avi removed from the platform. So, I mean, it is self-reporting in a way, but it's, I mean, it's in a way that actually has, like, a kind of a fail-safe in a way. What do you think? True, but one-click filter, filter click, and mass ban, and thousands of people are gone. So, do you mean the people who are having to go back to their previous worlds, who may not even be creating worlds anymore? Do you mean like old creators? Or do you mean like recent creators? Because I would imagine more recent creators would be like on top of the whole labeling their worlds and stuff. But like, what do you mean by that? I had no idea that that Shox would have an opinion about content gating, but you know, she seems to be very much on the ball with how VRC works and how it functions, which is really cool to see. Love to see it. Love to see it. So both. Because even if it's an old world or an old not safe for work avi, all a VRC has to do is 2 or 3 clicks and your self-tagged content can be gone because of their TOS. So, let me see. I think I understand what you're getting at, but I feel like that's only like applicable to like older creators. But I mean, if you're making okay, gotcha. If you're making a not safe for work avatar, you're basically unable to make a not safe for work avatar based on their new policy. So, but that, right, because their TOS restricts you from doing that. But that would mean that I guess a person would have to, like maybe make their own world. But even then, like make their own world for their avies to be hosted in that world. But I guess even then, I mean, they could label the world as an avatar world, and that could potentially keep their avatars safe. But I think Shox has a little bit more to add. Because I haven't thought about content gating all that much. It seems like a good change. I saw a lot of people on Twitter very much praising it. So I haven't thought too much about it myself. So this is interesting for me. I'm not saying it's bad or good, but making anything not safe for work and tagging it is self-reporting. Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Hey, look at me. Search system. I broke TOS ban. Yeah. Okay. I get you. So yeah, I'm sure people will find a way around that. Like, I guess you don't exactly have to, like, tag your avatar as not safe for work. You could use other tags for it. But obviously, I'm not encouraging, like, circumventing the system. I'm not encouraging it, obviously not. But that's just something that I'm sure people will end up doing. That's what I would think, especially if they're creating free avatars in VRC to be accessed. Okay. So yeah, so Shocks is very much kind of like in the middle, kind of the middle ground of this, right? Just keep it an invite plus and private only, and problem solve is just the bad actors. Right. So you can only get reported by the idiots who want to cause problems, which is par for the course in public worlds, for example. But I mean, obviously you can get just shitty people even in like invite plus, or like, you know, you can always run into like unexpected people. I.e. bad actors. Which, to be honest, could be all solved if VRC was like 16 plus or 18 plus, and then who cares? Honestly, kids should kids really be allowed to even see half of what's on VRC? That is a conversation that that we've definitely had. I've had the conversation with many guests. I agree with the idea of making VRC inaccessible to children. It just should not really be that way. However, this is the same argument that I've made with, I think it was when I interviewed Dunny. Basically, the idea of growing a company and growing market share from a business perspective, the only way to really grow as a company is based on how many users you have. If you cut off the amount of users you have from like ages like 12 to 17, you lose like half of the people. Essentially, half of your users if you were to do that. So it makes sense from a business perspective why they're not limiting it. They're just trying to put precautions and gates in place to ultimately keep kids off of the platform, which is, I think that's also what content gating is meant to accomplish. It basically automatically blocks worlds or blocks content that is for people who are under 18, and that's assuming they told the truth about their age in the first place, because we all know people have been forging their age on the internet for since the internet first became ubiquitous with being on a PC. So it's like you and me expect that sort of thing. I'm sure VRC also expects that, but I agree. Like, I'm definitely on the same page as you, but yeah, from a business perspective, it doesn't make sense to limit their user base in that regard. Sucks, but I guess, yeah, we just don't go to public worlds, you know? Right, I see why they're doing it, yeah. But the adults are the only ones actually funding it with VRC+. True. Income versus popularity thing. Right. But then you could argue, because of EAC, they lost, like, a lot of their VRC Plus users because of EAC. So, I mean, that kind of was the case for a while. I don't know how much of a case that is now. So, yeah, you're right, but yeah, I'm just like, well, I do wonder how many people were just like, I know a lot of people boycotted because of EAC and because of the mods issue, which I talked a lot about when that was happening, like late last year. And that was definitely a very popular topic on my podcast episodes back then. They all came back 100%. Tell me why you think that. Why do you think that, Shocks? They missed having another folder for avatars. What did they miss? And also, I say this as I'm a VRC Plus user myself, so You can't beat what VRC currently offers. Okay, okay. Are you a Plus user? Okay, okay. What's your favorite thing about it? Just out of curiosity, like what is I guess your favorite offering from that for people who may be unfamiliar or maybe out of the loop. Currently, my favorite thing about VRC Plus is the ability to like. It's a very kind of simple thing, but I like being able to like customize my menu, my UI. More Abby saved and custom UI. Yeah. I do like being able to color my stuff in a certain way. I'm sure you did your own in your own custom colors, right? Your own like main colors, like yellow, green. Yeah, I did too. I did mine for red, blue, and green. Hell yeah. But yeah, more Abby saves and custom UI. Those are definitely like pluses for me. I don't really care too much about the emotes, the custom emotes, but being able to make the UI more personal. I've always been one for like personalized content, like making something my own. I think is super nice. You support VRC so you can complain more, right? That is true. That is true. You're entitled to complain because you want it to be better. Like most people who enjoy something and they complain about it, it's because they want it to be better than what it is. So I totally get that. 100%. Yeah, 100%. All right. So let's jump to like VR technology in general. Like you seem to be pretty aware of technology, and because like you worked in information technology. And you were very early to getting a hold of the Valve Index, more or less. You're relatively early. So I'm curious about your thoughts about where you think VR technology is going, and maybe even artificial intelligence, if you have any thoughts about that. Well, okay, so what is CV? This is the first acronym I don't know. But CV1 and Vive is still OG VR gear. Okay, obviously I know about Vive, obviously. You'd say I was second wave VR with the Index and the 2.0 trackers, original Oculus, before Facebook took it over. Got you. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Got you. All right. Okay. So the CV was the original Oculus. Okay. Understood. Okay. Got you. And that makes sense. Okay. So. Yeah, so I have an Index as well. So like, but I got mine last year. So I guess I'm pretty late to the party now that we know that there's an Index 2, a wireless Index specifically on the horizon. Yeah, I do try to keep up with VR technology, and the recent releases and the new technology that's being developed. So I can just be in the know and be able to talk about it and stuff. So it's important to just have the knowledge in general. You're excited for the new headset. There are currently some amazing headsets out there to look at, but none fully check boxes you want. Got you. What are your major check boxes? Like the big screen. The big screen looks pretty cool. It's just glasses, but that's still very much in development. There's also the upcoming Oculus. I believe it's the Oculus 3, I believe. There's still the Vive headset. I don't know if they're doing anything new with that. I know that Apple has their own headset coming on the horizon. So yeah, what would you like to see ideally in a VR headset? And I'm sure one of them is going to be eye tracking. Eye tracking, face tracking, just face tracking in general. To be able to like make your expressions with your own face, which is something that's already being done with what Facebook/Meta is doing with their headset. They're getting there. They're getting there pretty close. But yeah, definitely, I know a lot of people would like to have face tracking for sure. I certainly would like to no longer have to do my expressions with my hands. That would be nice. PMax Crystal has amazing field of view, but is tied to a 4-hour tethered battery. Beyond has amazing size and form, but drastically reduced field of vision and no eye tracking. So it sounds like various companies are they're making sacrifices in order to create the technology that they want to make. They're having to make, they're having to skimp on things that they would want to add in order to make the headset affordable, and just to kind of like have the headset be functional in the way that they want it to be. Like obviously have function and form, but there's always things missing because of just limitations of technology and probably like how much budget they have. Maybe even pricing, because obviously, you have companies like Apple who are just like making the Vision Pro. It's going to be fucking over $2,000, which is ridiculous. But, that's what they're doing because, people are paying for, they're paying to be like the first. They're paying to be like the first buyers. So, but I think most companies are trying to be both affordable, but also as high tech to do something different. But at least there's healthy competition these days. Vario Aero has both okay field of vision, and eye tracking, and is in between the two, but it's 2 years old. You're excited for Valve's new stuff? Please come out soon. Yeah. Valve always seems to be on the cutting edge of new technologies, and it's like I'm honestly surprised that the Steam Deck, like I shouldn't be surprised, but the Steam Deck did so well. I thought handhelds were dead, honestly, but then Steam is just like, no, let's make a Steam Deck that you can customize and use Raspberry Pi to install Windows on the actual thing. You can install any operating system you want on the thing and play all of our games, or most of our library, which is like, I suppose that was the major draw. Yeah, it really is super mind-blowing that they did that and was successful. And they made different versions of it at different price tags. So like, yeah, Valve is very much on the cutting edge of where technology is going, and it's super cool to see what they're doing. I'm very much looking forward to their wireless headset. By the time this comes out, their wireless headset will probably be out, but who knows? But yeah, that would be pretty cool. That would be really, really cool to see. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do. For sure. So you're very, it seems like you're very hopeful. You're very positive about where VR tech is going. New trackers are coming out. There are glove controllers now too. I haven't heard about that. I did not hear about that yet. Tons of exciting VR tech that just needs the slightest push to be perfect. And yeah, it's good. Again, like I said, it's good that there's competition between many different companies. You know, Vive, Valve, Meta. I guess even I want to say Apple, but I mean they're not. They're doing like an augmented reality type thing with what they're doing. So I can't really say Apple. They're doing their own thing. But in general, there's a lot of other there are actually a few companies that you mentioned that I had not even heard of. So Apple be App 2. Tell me what you mean by that. Apple be Apple. Oh yeah, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, Apple is just like, yeah, like, we're gonna make this thing, it's gonna be expensive as fuck, and you're gonna buy it. Basically. Like, they're genuinely fearless. Android all the way. You know what? That's really funny that you say that. I used to be a big Apple. I was huge on Apple. I grew up on Windows, obviously, like most people do. Then in college, I transferred to Apple, and I was just kind of like Apple, like long term. I liked Apple. I liked how they did their stuff. And then after a while, I'm like, you know, I like customization. I like having freedom to do what I want and put in what I want and do as I please. So I switched over to Android. So I'm an Android user now, and I went back to Windows, obviously. So. But I mean, if I were like truly like into like what I want, like true customization, I'd be a Linux user. If I really wanted to be like hardcore about it, but like Linux is just like, whew, like that's a little too intense for me. I think for most people, yeah. So that's really cool to see. I'm glad to hear that you're very, very hopeful about VR technology. So now we're gonna move on to finding out about what you we're talking about you again. And being a mute. I think a lot of people, including myself, are curious to find out why you chose to be a mute and what that's been like for you. So I guess, can you tell us kind of right off the bat, why is Shox a mute? I'm very, very curious about this because I wonder how many people knew or know this answer, because I don't. I remember when I interviewed Neppy, I think a lot of people were curious as to why Neppy was a mute. Or, you know, I guess Neppy is more kind of like, I would say Neppy is more like, I guess 90% mute and like 10% not. But it seems, I've never obviously heard Shox talk, but I also haven't had Shox in a voice chat before. So I may have missed something. So we're gonna find out. Well, one of the biggest reasons I'm a mute is I don't speak very well. And sometimes things come out the wrong way. And I know a lot of, ASL, right. That's sign language. Yes, okay. Because of it. Got you. You don't, you know, it was, I don't know if this was the case. I think, if I remember correctly, I think that when I interviewed Chels, I think Chels had a similar concern, like, about, like, kind of how things would come out. Like, the brain would work faster than their mouth, and then things would kind of, like, come out, like, not the way that they thought it because their brain is working so fast. So, like, they're trying to keep up with their brain, essentially, kind of thing. So, school and speech therapy. You have a bad time filtering yourself. Really? Okay. So, interesting. So it's more so It's more so something related to, like, is it like a thing that you? Okay, how can I ask this? Are you? Is this something you were born with, or is it something that kind of just happened because of like social anxiety or something similar to that? Alright. So when you're a baby age, you were raised by your native Italian grandma and didn't start speaking English until kindergarten, causing a lot of speech problems. Oh, okay. So you were already for like a number of years you were only speaking Italian. Interesting. So yeah, like I understand like how that could possibly, not possibly, but how it can affect someone's ability to learn like after a period of time of like, because like obviously, you know, when you're young you absorb everything, like you absorb everything very easily, and then like you've learned in pretty much an entire language. So I'm assuming you're fluent in Italian. So okay. So yeah, I get you. So but largely you were basically forced to try to learn English when you got into school, and because you're exposed to Italian made it difficult to pronounce certain words. You've lost a lot, but you understand most of it in Spanish. Okay, interesting. So you can obviously you can speak English, but it's very much kind of like, is it like mixed in with Italian when you speak English occasionally, or is it like, I guess, can you give us an example of like how it's been like a challenge for you? Because I'm sure there are a lot of people who are also mutes, and just people who may not like know what that's like. I think getting a clearer picture of that, I think, would be really good. No, you've gotten over your accent mostly. It's more so how you say things, like filtering if you should say it or not. Oh, okay. Is that a culture thing from like sorta? Okay. So Shock said it's sort of a cultural related thing that causes that, but we're gonna get a little bit more. For example, like in VRC, if I have some random person come up to you and they're like, "Oh, how cute! Oh my God, pat," etc., I might slip and be like, "Oh, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good." I knew that was gonna be good. Cringe. Or what the fuck? Damn. Okay, so Shocks is actually savage. Okay, cool. Nice. But it sounds like that she doesn't mean to be, but it just kind of happens that way occasionally. It's like an emotional thing that like boom. I say what I say and it comes out the way it comes out. I wonder what Shocks call me cringe. You know what I mean. Yeah, I know what you mean. The random E-boy comes over like, oh my god, girl, hey baby, yeah. But I mean, like, you know, I think they would deserve that though. I honestly think they would deserve to be like, yo, that's super cringe, dude. I don't think you'd be out of pocket for saying that though. I mean, I haven't gone into public worlds in a long time, so like I haven't had like the random interaction with like an e-boy or anything like that in like since I first started VRC. But I'm actually tempted to like kind of go to a public world again since it's been so long and just kind of see what it's like. See if anyone approaches me or kind of thing. I'm kind of curious. Drastic example, but doesn't help in making friends if your filter slips. Gotcha. I see. So, you know, I can understand that. But okay, question for you. Do you think it's necessary to like obviously I think we all filter ourselves. Like obviously, like you've seen me on stream, you know how I usually am. You know, you see my ASMR stuff, you've seen how I just normally am on stream. I'm just saying whatever comes to mind. My podcasts are usually, I wouldn't say they're filtered, but my podcasts are way more say-so. Like this is me being say-so, and my ASMR is me being very say-so. So like basically like otherwise I'm just saying whatever comes to mind. Like I almost have no filter in a way. So like do you think that it's like do you like, I guess, how do you interact IRL if you're worried about filtering yourself in that way? So like do you think that people in VRC would not understand just expressing yourself the way that you do, and like knowing that like despite not, I guess, you know, being completely filtered, that obviously you mean well, obviously like you're a good person. Like I think people would generally understand that. But I'm curious, like if that's something that you kind of hide in VRC, how does that affect you IRL? I'm mostly silent, and if you're talked to, you take a bit to respond to make sure it's what I mean to say, which is reasonable. Like that's reasonable. Like there's nothing wrong with like thinking about what you want to say before you say it. Like there are tons of people who don't know how to think about what they want to say, and they just emotionally like blurt out whatever the first thing comes to mind. Usually the first thing that pops into your head is not the thing you should be saying out loud. Most likely. Absolutely not. I mean, it could be really funny. Like I do that all the time. A lot of the times the first thing that comes to my mind is what I'm saying on stream, and it's very funny. At least I think so. But like obviously in like social situations and you're trying to get to know people who don't know you, I can understand the concern. But I personally don't think there's anything wrong with taking your time to pause, to think, and to speak. Yeah. But it definitely just seems like it's just something that you feel more comfortable like kind of being able to type and share like yourself in a way that is, I guess, it allows you to show yourself in a more authentic way, and so there's no confusion about like what's in your heart. Okay, gotcha. So you choose to be a mute so that people can truly know, you know, what you want people to see in you. Cause like you're a sweetheart, like like in general, like you're very much like a very sweet, kind person, and I imagine you're very fun to be around. So like, but yeah, like there's no delete button. There's no delete button from word vomiting. True, very very true. So. Yeah, I do think it's important to be mindful of that, but I choose to be fun and aggressively verbal, and that's me. Like people know where I'm from. They know what I'm about. So but I think people generally know that I mean well. I think people obviously feel the same about you too. But that's cool. That's cool. It's good to know like the details of why you choose to like walk this path, and that's been the case since like obviously you've been mute since the very beginning. Okay, got you. Has that been difficult for you? Like, has it been tough for you? Sorta, kinda. Because I imagine like having to, like I know like, I think for most mutes they don't mind the process of typing things in. Like I guess socially, socially there's like I'm sure there's difficulties like when socializing for sure. More comfortable and relaxing than difficult, really. Even active conversations with like people and such. You type fast enough to get away with most social stuff. Oh, okay. You've mastered the art of VRC typing. Yeah, straight up hacker girl. Nice. I mean, she did work in IT. She did work in IT after all, so like it makes sense that she'd be like. I'm pretty sure she's the fastest typing mute I've seen. My fingers aren't wasted on fast fingering your instrument. See. I see you sneaking in that. See, you're sneaking in that lewd stuff. Nice. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I like to see. Cause like Shox is such a fucking sweetheart. I love her, but like she can be lewd as fuck, and I like it. It's fun. It's like it's cheeky in a way. Like it's like it's like she's like, oh, like you didn't think I'd say this, but like tee-hee, I did. So what are you gonna do about it? Kind of thing. I think it's kind of cute. I like it. You have a tiny bit of the riz. True and real. Don't worry, I see it. I see what you're doing. But I it's good to have that. I think that's like that's par for the course, like to have a little bit of riz when you're a mute. I think is it's valuable, it's fun. It keeps people on their toes. They don't know what to expect. Also, your tongue looks like a strawberry. It looks like a cut strawberry. I just noticed that. I totally noticed that. It totally does look like. Yeah, it does. It looks like when you like slice a strawberry. It's very tasty looking. See, even obviously I got the wrist. Obviously, It's on what that tongue do. Oh man, what am I doing? Oh yeah, man, that I'm chill. That means I'm chill. Like if I'm making jokes like that means I'm chilled out. I'm happy. But Shox is responding very calmly. You can get a closer look later. Hey yo. See, all right, nice. Hey, I like that. Hey, yo. Well, we'll have to talk after stream. You know, that there is that running joke that like after my streams, you know, like what happens after a podcast, a sweet talking podcast stream, what happens afterwards? Let's just say there's not much talking. Let's just say that. Oh man. I mean, you can ask all my guests know. They know. Paid content, so only sorry chat. Yes, exactly. True. You get that later on. You get that later on. See, I love when I can make jokes freely like that. Like I enjoy that. I love that. I love that vibe. Like that's fun for me. All right, so now that we know why Shocks is mute and like you make it work socially and all that, so that's cool. Let's get into streaming. Let's get into the whole streaming journey. So you've had humble beginnings. Like I know, let's just put it out there. Let's put it out there for people who don't know. Shocks is partner on Twitch. She is partner. And I have not interviewed many. I don't think I've interviewed. Have I interviewed anyone who's partner on Twitch? Have I? I feel like I did. Silly. Yeah. Silly. And yeah, Silly. Yes, I did interview Silly. So she is in fact partner. So that was the only other person I've interviewed that is partner. So let's talk about your humble beginnings, because you know obviously one does not simply waltz into Twitch and become partner. So like what was that like for you? Like I noticed that your early streams you were streaming as early as 2017, I believe, something around those lines. So like you weren't doing VRC content until I think your first VRChat stream was, I believe, August 4th, 2019. I believe. You don't know? Of course you wouldn't know. It was very far away. But I'm pretty sure based on the research that I did, it was either 2018 or 2019. But yeah, like you didn't start with VRC, so yeah, what was that like? How did you figure out what to do? Aside from watching other streamers, which I know you mentioned earlier, you did get inspired by other streamers, so. I wouldn't say it like it was an overnight thing, like most of the bigger streamers, where it was suddenly 100 plus people. Lol. It was steady over 4 years. Okay. So you say 4 years because of that's when you start VRC. You started VRC 4 years ago. I believe that's what you said. But you were streaming as far back as 6 years ago, I believe. I'm gonna take another drink while she's typing her stuff out. Okay. Well, before that, it was like a once-a-year League or WoW stream. So is that really starting? That's true. That is true. Your early streams were, I mean, when I say early streams, that was like you did like 1 or 2, like in like 2017, like 1 in 2017, 1 in 2018, something like that. Yeah. So I guess why was that? Like, why did you only kind of start in that way? And obviously kicked off with VRChat, but like, I guess what kind of kept you from, I guess, really digging into it back then? My throat's been feeling pretty raw tonight, so I'm actually drinking water. I usually don't drink water when I do these interviews, but I'm actually drinking a lot of water because my throat's just like, I was pretty desperate earlier this evening, so I got really upset. But anyway, well, back then it was a way to share screens to friends, and Skype was crap back then. So you were streaming on Twitch just to share your screen with peeps, because back then I think Discord existed back then. I think maybe it was like, it wasn't anywhere where it is now. It wasn't anywhere near, and I'm sure I didn't have like video hosting and have video sharing or anything like that. Wasn't well known. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it was very early. Yeah, I can definitely see that. Because, like, it's so funny, like, for a while, like, I did not, like, I heard about Discord. I was one of those people who hear about new technologies, like, I want to say new technology, I mean, like, new social platforms where you can, like, interact with people, and I'm very reluctant to jump into new ones, typically. Yeah. So it was still Skype, Ventrilo, and TeamSpeak and Mumble. Yeah. And I know those are very popular with MMO players and just people who gamed in general, like you. Yeah, for sure. And so, like, yeah, when I heard of Discord, I was just like, yeah, I don't want to get into another social platform. I don't want to do that. Because like I'd worked so hard to understand Skype that, like, when Discord came out, I'm just like, no. But eventually, people started using it, and I'm like, okay, all right, I gotta. Like, eventually I have to adopt things. So, that's kind of what happened with me. But that's interesting. So you were using Twitch to just kind of share your gaming experiences with people, not really to, like, you weren't streaming to stream. So when you started in 2019, you were streaming, you were still very much a variety streamer. Would you call yourself a variety streamer, Shocks? Sorta, kinda. Let's get the deets. You're like 90% VRC. Yes, that is true. That's true. These days. I do sometimes stream games, but it's to a much smaller group because Twitch doesn't like mutes playing games silently. Okay. Huh, okay. Got you. Yeah. That is true. Yeah, it's definitely rough for like in the gaming sphere, like, to play games silently. Like, people like that engagement. Even if you are engaging over in the. Yeah, I know you are typing in the chat. Like, you do type in the chat, 100%. But yeah, like, most people prefer that when it comes to, like, actual, like, games, like real time back and forth with chat while they're doing the thing, not like having to, like, stop and type. And yeah, I get you. So I mean, it makes sense, but people still love what you're doing. People still enjoy your content. Obviously, but I think the majority of the people are very familiar with your VRC content. So, can you tell us about, I guess, what that was like? When did you start to take streaming seriously? Well, we'll start there. Yeah, when did you start to take streaming seriously? at what point did you feel like it was like a viable option for you? When you were averaging like 50-ish viewers, it was kind of like, wow, I can keep doing this and just go part-time at the other jobs. Okay. I know what I want to ask you next, but I want you to finish your thoughts about when it made sense. You enjoyed it so much. Shock said, I enjoyed it so much. Much more than waking up and driving 30 minutes or hours to a rehearsal. Gotcha. I can just share your music tastes and interact with chat relaxing. That is true. Very, very true. I think most people would enjoy it way more than having to drive. I mean, I certainly do. But I also know I'm in a pretty fortunate position. I happen to still work from home because of the pandemic made it so that I get to work from home. So, but yeah, I definitely get that. You know, if you're succeeding at streaming, then why not? Yeah, relaxing with them and yourself and making memorable moments and closer friends. Yeah. Like what I really like, what I really enjoy hearing about you, Shocks, is that like you have such a genuine like perspective when it comes to like wanting to like entertain people, like make people happy. Like it's like I definitely get that vibe from you. It's very like in your word choice and just like what you do as a content creator in general. I think it's very much, I get that vibe that you just want to entertain people, you just want to make people happy, make people feel comfortable, and you get to share your music like you do in your music vibing streams and like you just really you really prioritize the well-being of your audience. And I think that's really, really cool. I mean, obviously I think every streamer should do that, but you have a very kind of like I genuinely just want to make people happy kind of thing. And that's like your main intention as a streamer, which is very cool to see. Also helps that you like dancing around and being weird. I'm tempted to ask you, what do you mean by being weird? Because we're all weird. I mean, the fact that we are here right now, doing what we are doing right now, a lot of people would consider that pretty weird. I think most of us on VRC, if not all of us on VRC, are pretty damn weird. So like, I wouldn't like, you know, you're not the only one, is what I'm saying. Playing into funny tropes to get a good lol. Yes. Hell yeah. I get you. Yeah, oops, you dropped something. Ah, yeah. Ah, yes, of course, of course. Yeah. Classic. Classic. I think I've only done that once. I honestly think I've only done the oops, you dropped something once. But it is very funny to do. It's fun to do. I think people enjoy that. You know. Like, generally speaking, I'm not really flashing my ass very often. I probably should, but I don't really do that all that often. But, you know, I rely too much on my voice and my personality, like, and I guess my assets also, you know, you know, but you know, we all have our strengths. I mean, you have yours too, which is great. I love that very, very much. I mean, I am a boob lady, I will say, but you know, ass is nice too these days. But yeah, I get what you mean. I get what you mean. I think I may have triggered a flag. Shox is going to respond to my funny haha. There's some IRL butt pics on Twitter. If you go to, oh wow. Damn, we'll read that again. There's some IRL butt pics on Twitter if you go digging. Okay, well, I hope you guys don't close this. Don't close the podcast. Pause it if you like, but don't close it. Don't close it. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, yeah. Which, again, you prioritize entertaining your audience and the way that they love it the most. And I'm sure they enjoy seeing that tail wag and you're dancing, of course, you know, in the ways that you do so. It's so funny how I'm trying to be Seizo. I don't want to be Seizo. I'm trying so hard. I don't have to be Seizo on my own podcast, but I'm doing it anyway. Yeah, I know. Just dig that hole deeper. Yeah, just keep digging that hole. I know, but you know, I'm trying to not. But yes, I think that's awesome. I like that about you. Like, you're very open, and you really do try to create a fun vibe with your peeps. But okay, so like you said you got up to like 50 like concurrent viewers. So you're talking about like 50 concurrent viewers, and you were seeing this consistently. I imagine. Okay, so like I guess like, were you ever like discouraged? Like when you first started, like were you ever discouraged in the whole process? Cause like I've like again guys, Shox did not just have like 1 million viewers like at once. Like she had to come up. But you know, obviously, you know, 2020 was quite the year for online entertainment. So, and Shox was all up in that. So she was 100% discouraged by the whole prospect of streaming for a good bit of time. So what changed? Don't get me wrong, it was depressing at times to see a VRC friend start streaming and instantly get partner and fly past you, forgetting you. So that happened to you? Really? Were they other mutes or just other streamers? Some of both? Both and multiple times. Wow. Okay. Yeah. I think a lot of people feel that way. Because a lot of people did start in 2020, or they started like at the end of 2019, and yeah, it's very like to see that happen. Like, and it's like, what can I do better? What am I doing wrong? Type of thing. Yeah. Yeah, it's like this intrusive thought of like, am I good enough? Do people like my content? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and like, what was your content? back then? Like, what was your VRC content back then? It was similar, okay. It was chill hangout streams. Okay. Interesting. I mean, yeah, I guess that is similar. I mean, you do have, like, you have specific themes around, like, the hangout portion. So it's not just like what I do. Like, I mean, obviously I'm not just kind of like sitting there on the beach with my boobs hanging out. Like, I'm not just doing that. Like, that's not all I'm doing here. But like, honestly, like you've added a little bit more to make it your own, and like your version of hangout streams. Like, you have your food streams, I think on Tuesdays you have your food streams, and then you have like music streams that are just like music and just vibe streams. So you've kind of like made it like less of just kind of like, you know, being cute on camera and doing a little bit more than just kind of sitting, I imagine. Your clips over the years tell that development better than you could. Okay, gotcha. So you mean like how you did your chill content back then? Got you. Okay, understood. So was it just kind of like sitting and talking in the chat? Was that more or less what it was? I know you said I should look at your clips, but if we can get like a mild idea. Was more group party with the furries, or like hang out with multiple friends and cause shenanigans? Okay. Got you. And I guess what content did you end up kind of seeing like consistent growth on? I guess was it that content that got you to where you are, or was it changing it up a little bit? Because I think people want to know like what did Shocks do to get to partner? So we gotta get there. Bit of both. I noticed when you pay attention to chat and not the world you're in. People like that more than hee hee ha ha scary meme avatar. Oh, okay. So you notice when you pay attention to chat and not the world you're in, people like that more than just the avatar that you're dressed in. So are you saying you weren't really paying much attention to chat back in the day? So? Okay. That's interesting. So, Shocks found out that, you know, when you interact with chat, you know, they like the attention and they stay around. But what was the formula that got her there? They're there for you, more so, not per se what everyone around you is doing. True. Very, very true. Very, very true. They're there on your channel for you. And if you're not giving them the attention that they're there, that they expect or hope for, then they're gonna be like, well, this streamer doesn't care about me. Yeah, just say, yep, next one. because there are tons of streamers and there are tons of VRC streamers out there to choose from. But I think we all, like, I think most of us try to do our best to kind of like diversify and make ourselves different from everyone around us. Obviously, there's going to be some overlap with content and ideas, but I think overall, the more successful ones are the ones who really diversify and do different things, not just, you know, the same, you know, same as what everyone else is doing. I mean, I'm kind of a perfectly good example of that. This is VRC content that I don't think many people are doing, and you know, I would be flattered if like other people in VRC started to try to do something similar to what I'm doing, because you know, if I'm starting something of like a podcast revolution in VRC, hey, that'd be pretty cool. Involve your chat in your streams and games you play, etc. Yes, 100%. 100%. That will definitely keep people there. And so was that just like an easy switch, and that's ultimately you just started to grow from there? So once you started interacting with chat, everything just kind of fell into place for you. And then obviously, you know, 2020 happened, and people were just kind of looking for like any matter of entertainment that was, you know, that they could enjoy and sink their teeth into. And it was never like an instant success, it was steady growth. Yeah. I get you, yeah. So, and like, I mean, that's what it, like, when I look at your graph, I've looked at your stream graph, and just how things have like evolved for you, and it was very up and down. So can you tell us about, like, you've had like very high ups, and then like you've had like thousands of followers get deleted. Like, what happened there? Like, what was going on there? And were you like were you raided? Were you bot raided? Were you like follow bots? Yeah, okay. I get you. Yeah. And yeah, that was very much a thing in like 2020 and 2021 for sure. Yeah. So you had to like purge all of that. Got you. All right. And so I guess, would you account any of your success to, I guess, raids? Like, well, I guess what do you think of raids, and have they been helpful to you? Did that help in your growth? I mean, because obviously you've been very generous to me the last couple of weeks with your raids, so I'm very appreciative of that. But I'm curious as to like what you think about that, and was that part of your growth and becoming known to people? Raid sure can help 100%, but it's totally up to the streamer to help to keep the raid people there. Absolutely. I agree 100% with that. I'm very that's why I'm very cautious when it comes to that sort of thing. Like, if I know that I can't stay very long, I'm hesitant to raid, because I know that my presence and my example is what's going to keep people wanting to interact and stick around and support. Like, I have to set the example. I gotta set the stage so people feel comfortable to interact with a brand new person, a person they may not know. So yeah, having the streamer stay there is super important. Which, you know, I can say with confidence that Shox has absolutely lived by example in doing so. Shox is absolutely, yeah. Absolutely, you practice what you preach is what I'm saying. Yeah, very much so. It's about finding people who you know and hang out with, and common vibes. Absolutely. You're not going to raid a random streamer, really? Okay. So you don't raid random streamers. Was that something? Did you ever raid random streamers back when you were smaller, or was that always something that you stood by? She didn't. You guys didn't see, but Shock said no. But it was always friends of friends and people you personally know. Gotcha. Yeah, I like that. I personally like that. Once in a blue moon, I'll raid someone I don't know. Once in a blue moon, but friends of friends and people you personally know, I think that's pretty common, and I think it makes more sense in general. Yeah, I do sometimes love dropping huge amounts of people on some poor 1-2 viewer streamer. Yeah, but that's rarely. Yeah, I get you, yeah. Yeah, I definitely feel the same, I very much keep it to people that I know. I want to support the homies. I want to make sure that they're, I mean, to the best of my ability, really. Because, it's like, I say I want to support the homies, but the homies are supporting me, because I'm the small fry here. Like, I'm the small streamer here. So, like, like, I can only do so much. But, I do what I can. Especially for my friends. If a friend is streaming, they get the raid, and oftentimes they give chat a choice between 2 or 3 of your friends. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I mean I think that's the best way to do it. Because I think it encourages chat more to stick around for the raid rather than just kind of dispersing. Because like if you say this is a good friend of mine, this is someone who I actually like and support, and they're really cool and awesome, I think people from your community are more likely to stay. But like, you're always gonna see there will always be drop off from raids. Yeah, but did raids do anything for you? Like, did people like raid you back in the day, and did do you think you can count that to your growth? Was that part of it, or was it like all you and what you were doing creatively? The biggest raid you got was from Artsy with 430-ish to 500 people. Wow. Yeah, that is, I'm pretty sure the largest raid that I've gotten, personally, was from Socks. Yeah, Socks has been very kind to me, and she's raided me twice. But it made sense for her to do so because I was doing like dancing stuff. I was doing dancey dance type things, or like doing music related stuff. So I can see how there was some overlap there. But she's been super kind to me, and so have you, obviously. No one really stayed because our vibes are so different, but raids do help if you share a common interest. True. Do you okay. I want to talk more about raids. Like, I really do. Like, I enjoy the conversation about raids. I think it's an interesting topic, honestly. I'm very particular about who I raid, and if I raid at all. Like, I don't feel pressured to raid. Do you ever feel pressured to raid? Like, do you feel like you have to? Do sometimes you just like not do it, or do you do it like often? I'm very much kind of in between. I'm like, a lot of like how I determine like if I'm going to raid someone or not is just how I'm personally feeling, along with how many people are actually like there. It's like a mixture of the two. If I have the energy to do it, and if there are people there, it kind of makes sense to do it. But if I'm doing something and like no one's around, or like I'm just not feeling up to being social anymore, I will generally kind of like, I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna set you guys free. It's no biggie. I did that for my ASMR stream this past Tuesday, because I didn't see anyone who actually kind of fit the vibe that I was doing. I didn't want to throw someone into like a It's like a very loud, rambunctious thing after being in a peaceful ASMR stream. That didn't really fit, you know? It depends, really. I feel like, hey, if there is 80 to 120 people watching and still jamming, you're tired, but you have a friend doing more music. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, like go see the friend. You keep the vibes going, hang out with them, kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah, you can. I try to be very like kind of transparent with my viewers, and like how I'm feeling, and just kind of let them know, hey, you know, we're gonna go check out this person. Like I have a very similar approach to it as you do. You do, Shocks. But rarely, if I'm like no sleep streaming a game and no one's on, yeah, end is end. Okay, yeah, that is fair. That is fair. I can definitely align with that. All right, so we've asked a lot. I've asked a lot of questions about like your streaming career and everything how that's gone. So you pretty much stream full time now, yeah? Okay. So I guess, like, what did you do to get to partner? I guess we'll just ask the question. So, what did you do to get to reach partner? Stream and the sussy stuff. Gotcha. Yeah. Streaming and making that little extra passive income on the side with the sussy. I get you. To get to partner, it took you 6 tries. 6 tries. I never did like a partner push because those always hurt the streamer in the end. That's true. It was just the same old. So what do you mean you tried 6 times? For people who may be unfamiliar, like me, I do have some knowledge, obviously, because I do research about streamers and such, and just like what it takes to become partner. I see other streamers becoming partner, so I do a lot of personal research as well. So, but for people who may be unfamiliar, what do you mean it took you 6 tries? Well, you have to apply, and then they review. They can say yes or no and give a reason, or, yeah, excuse to not accept you. Okay, got you. Okay, so that's what you mean. So you applied 6 times after meeting their criteria. Okay. Shocks nodded yes, by the way. On one of your rejections, they literally said, "We don't value your content." Wow. Okay. Wow. Jeez. That's rough. That's incredibly rough to be told, for sure. Which hurt, but you keep going. Yeah. Obviously. It's like, what did you do? You said you did the same old. So like, you didn't partner push. You didn't like stream crazy hours or anything. You just kept doing what you were doing, which was what was it that you were doing? some people get super lucky and get it the first try. But I just still did hangouts and music and Tuesdays and games and Discord. Did the sussy stuff come before or after partner? Somewhere in the middle, okay. But you didn't have this model till last year or so, yeah. Yeah, I feel like like I said before, the first time I saw your content, you were definitely in the Pride, the Pride version, like the 2.5 version, yeah. Yeah, it was just very, very colorful, very, very like eye-catching. Like that kind of stuff. It was when you were doing it was when Idol House was like super popular in VRC. That's when I first saw you, I think. Would you guys believe that I've never actually gone to Idol House before? I've seen so many of my quote unquote coworkers go there, but I've never gone there myself, so I just like, it's not. I don't think that's viable as content personally, but I've seen other people do it. I've only been partnered for a year and 3/4. Okay. Gotcha. So yeah, so it hasn't been that long for you. Has anything changed since you become partner? Is anything particularly different? Do you have to think about different things? Not really. More emotes are nice, yeah. But really it's just a badge of, hey, look at me, I did a thing. Right, the check mark. The don't worry check mark. Gotcha. Okay. So you just kept doing what you were doing after you got partner. Okay. Do you have any I guess if you could offer any advice to people who like want to take streaming seriously, and like I guess what would you advise people to do? Like if people who are, who want to, I guess, get better at streaming or, maybe shoot for partner one day. What would you want to get? What advice would you give? Make friends and don't be a loner. Or be stupid, or be stupid good at a game. Okay. So you're still of the mind that playing one game really well it can get you there? And would you say VRC turned out to be that game for you? No? Okay. Do tell. Because I'm actually really curious if like if people who watched you for WoW stuck around. That's what I'm actually pretty curious about. But I think make friends and don't be a loner. I think is definitely good. Connect with people, like legitimately connect with people in like a meaningful way, for sure. VRC is all social. Not like a competitive thing, true. None of your WoW friends watch your VRC stuff. Gotcha. Okay. Makes sense. Yeah, well, yeah. I agree. VRC should not be seen as a competitive thing. It should be an experience of connecting with people, like understanding people. I think the moment it gets competitive is when drama starts, and I think we all are no strangers to drama. which is like, you know, it's kind of comes with the territory when you're on a social platform or you're playing this game. You're a pro VRC player, top 1%. Yeah. Said no one ever. Yeah, basically. Cringe. Yeah, I know. Hell yeah. I agree. I 100% agree. Yeah. Said no one ever, basically. But yeah, like so do you think it's you said like make friends, you said make friends and don't be a loner. Do you think like, I guess, what do you think it takes to be a streamer? Like, what do you think it takes to be a streamer? Because like, you come from a musical background, you were in IT, you entertained people with music, you played instruments. So I guess what do you think it takes to be a streamer? Strong mental focus. There are going to be times where it really sucks. Yeah, I agree. Oh, I agree. Yeah. I think most people know what that's like. I know what that's like. But thankfully I've been taking this in stride. Like, a lot of what I've done as a streamer, I've been really just been very chill. I just try things. I'm just trying things all the time. And I've been really fortunate. I've been very, very fortunate. But I also know that, like, I've put my best foot forward. I've made friends. I haven't been a loner. And for whatever reason, people have been very, very supportive of the content that I have created. Even though I literally was only streaming one time a week last year. So, like I've gotten really lucky. Not just because of my personality, but I guess because of, you know, starting the podcast and I guess genuinely making friends with people, which is something I think really, really matters. But it can be really hard sometimes to like kind of know, like, to know who your real friends are, or the people who are actually going to like support you no matter what. I really, really value all the people that I've met on this journey, and it's been so great. I love it so much. And I'm really, really grateful for all the support and the kindness that people have shown me. It's definitely necessary to becoming I guess getting known ultimately, and ultimately becoming a good streamer. We're all just playing the popularity lottery and just waiting for something or someone to push us further. Wow, that's true words have never been spoken. That's very, very true. We are like you and I, we are I'm not in competition with you, Shocks. If anything, you're actually like my senpai, 100% at this point. So like I have no competition with you because you were up here and I'm like down here. So like there's no competition with you whatsoever. I just respect what you do very, very much. But like in general, like you're right. Like we're all essentially co-workers in a way, trying to kind of find our own place where we fit and just trying to appeal to people in our own unique ways, without obviously, while being respectful to our co-workers, our friends, and just trying to do our best to appeal to as many people as possible. It's rough. You still don't see yourself as a big streamer? What do you mean? What do you mean? Is it like, okay, I mean, you're making enough to do this full time, essentially. And I suppose it doesn't matter how much you're making. So that makes a big streamer. Barely. And like it's so funny that you say that, because that is so true. Like with so many different streamers, like it doesn't matter like if they're a partner or not, like so many streamers who do this full time, it is very much like they're just like barely. They're barely making ends meet. Which is, again, like I think you have to do this with love. You have to pursue streaming because you legitimately love entertaining people. Because, like, it's rough trying to do this full time, from what I've heard. People don't just get to partner and just start making bank. Riding the line of poverty. A lot of people assume partners just roll in money, but it's the same deal affiliates have. Yeah. When you say it's the same deal, do you mean like the 50-50 or just do you mean the same struggle? The 50-50? Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, I mean now it's like that. But now there's also Partner Plus. I'm sure you've heard of that. What do you think about that? Is that something you're interested in? You don't even qualify for that? Yeah, like I believe the requirements to get to Partner Plus is you have to have like 350 like non-gifted subs. Like if they have, like 350 people have to just be sub to you, not gifted, just plain out sub to you to get to Partner Plus. I think they're like a couple of other qualifications too, but that's like one of the major ones. You don't even reach half of that qualification. Yeah. But you know about it, obviously. And like obviously, people gift subs, people do bits. You have the sussy stuff on the side, and like you make it work. You make it work. So like, well, I don't want to dig too much into like your. I know you said you're open book, but I don't want to be like, well, like you said you're just barely making it. So like how much are you like are you eating well, Shocks? Are you doing okay, Shocks? Like I don't want to do that. I'll ask you that off stream kind of thing. But yeah, I don't want to dig too far into that. But like it's just a real ass thing. Like, regardless of you being partner or affiliate, it's very much your Discord will say no, but you eat. Good. I'm glad that you do find time to feed. Tigers gotta eat. Pineapples will not sustain you forever. You need actual like food and meat and sustenance. So I'm glad you are eating. It's very, very important. But yeah. So okay. Just got a little bit more. It's always scary being like a bad month or two away from having to stop your dream, but that's the line streamers have to ride. Yeah. And I think it's great that you say that. I think it's really important that you say that. I think a lot of people don't realize what it takes to be a streamer. They just think they can just pop, like, you just hit the go live button and like people are just gonna come and watch them, and it'll just kind of come together. But like you have to just really genuinely enjoy entertaining people, because if you don't, you're gonna lose. You're gonna get discouraged. You're gonna and you will like lose your passion for it. It's something you genuinely have to do, and it's not something you just make bank. You're not just like printing money as a streamer either. Like it's legitimate. Like streaming is legitimately an entertainment job. It is an entertainment job, just like an actor, just like a voice talent, just like a stunt double. Like you're literally creating entertainment for people who want to support what you're doing, and hopefully will continue to be entertained by you, and hopefully will continue to support you in your endeavor to be entertaining. But with so many different ways of being distracted, so many forms of of entertainment out there. So many different VRC streamers out there. You know, kind of stirring the pot. You know, like I'm one of those people. You know, I'm sorry, Shocks, but you know, like I've but like there are so many different streamers out there who are really just trying to make it, and they don't realize that like you have to accept the fact that shit's gonna be bad sometimes, because like a lot of actors are just kind of waiting for that break. They're waiting for that lucky break, and like you got your lucky break. You reached partner, but that hasn't really changed very much though. Yeah. So I mean, there was a point in time where it would have, before they reverted back to 50-50 for everybody. You had 70-30. So there was a time when it could have made a difference. But now not so much. So Shocks was activated by me mentioning, the split that Twitch does. So, I'm curious what she has to say about that. There may be a little detail I may have missed, perhaps. $70-30 back then was only for 1K plus a month sub partners, really, and it was kept hush hush a lot. Right? Yeah. That was like a straight up contract that was being written for people. Yeah, it wasn't really talked about, but like they had to come clean about it when they decided to go 50-50 for everybody, because they knew they'd be screwing over the ones they had a contract with. It's definitely like there's a lot of Twitch lore that people may not know about, because they may not be streamers, or they just don't kind of look into those sorts of things. Only like 4 or 5 VRC streamers even have that now. Yeah. It's I think anyone, like at this point, like no one should really expect that unless they're in Partner Plus. Yeah, it doesn't happen anymore, basically. So I have one more streamer question for you. Once you let us know what you got on your mind. 500 plus average viewer VRC people. Oh, okay. I see. Gotcha. So my last question about streaming for you is: ever considered Kick? Yeah. Why or why not? Because again, Shocks has been around the block. She's been doing this for a long time. So I'm curious to know her stance on that sort of thing. You have a Kick and it's affiliate. Oh, okay. And why not? I'm just streaming games on it, like WoW and Clone Hero and retro stuff. Okay, so you're just doing that on the side, essentially. Like whenever, like, so you're saying that you have like just days when you don't like feel like actually being Shocks. I mean, are you still Shocks there, or is it like, obviously you're using the same name, obviously, because people wouldn't know who you are, but. Oh, so you just do like once a week? Oh, okay. And how many days do you stream otherwise? 4 to 5. So you stream 4 to 5 days a week plus an extra day on Kick. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and events on Sunday. Okay. Yeah, I mean, hey. When you're doing it full time, you better damn well do it almost full time. Yeah. You better be hitting the majority of the days for sure. Is Kick helping with helping you kind of make those margins? Not really. It's so funny. I said that was my last question. Of course, I have to ask a question to accompany that additional question. Of course. It's just for fun and for people who want to see what else you play. Got you. Okay. Yeah. All right. Gotcha. That is fair. All right. So, yeah. Now that we kind of have I think we have a pretty clean idea of how you got to where you are. You struggled like everyone else. You found the kind of content that you enjoyed doing. You're doing chill hangout stuff, and then you just kind of diversified and found new ways to appeal to people. And you got to partner without a partner push. You just kind of did your thing, and yeah, just kept it going. Interesting. So. And what'd you say? Okay, last question. Yeah, I know. So 2020. We all know what that year means at this point. So do you account 2020 as a reason for your exponential growth? Do you think that played a significant part in it? And if so, how so? Because I have this feeling that many people who were in 2020, who were streaming consistently in 2020, just really kind of reaped the benefits of many people discovering Twitch, for one, and two, just people in general just having more time on their hands to watch Twitch and to engage with the kind of content. So yeah, a bit of both. I do always wonder where you'd be without being shut in for a year and a half. Right. So like you start streaming like hardcore because of 2020. So apparently it sounds like you wouldn't have kind of, when did you start doing full-time streaming? And like, I guess, yeah, like when did you start streaming full-time? Because it sounds like the pandemic caused you to just lean into streaming, which, yeah, that I think that's what you said earlier, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so you started streaming full-time the end of 2021. Okay, interesting. So you still, even after like 2020, you still weren't convinced that you could do it. You were only sort of kind of convinced. But what were you doing for like how were you surviving? Because you were unable to do your usual work, and you were doing part-time work. I think you said. I'm trying to connect all the dots, making sure we got all the dots. Well, part-time, and I did get let go from your IT job because your company got bought out and just said, okay, I'll do it my own way. Yeah. Got you. Okay. So, okay. I see. So, we can say that, we would say that, I guess, approximately 2020, you were already streaming then, so you were streaming through 2020, more people got on Twitch, more people were looking for, kind of content to engage with, and then through 2021, you were working part-time, and then you got let go from the IT job, and then you saw that you were making, like, consecutive, you're consecutively making 50 viewers consecutively, average viewers per stream, and you're like, okay, I will just go full-time into this. and you just kind of did that. So, last few questions. Last few questions. So, where do you like to see yourself in 2 years? Where would you like to see yourself in 2 years? And I'm going to take another drink of water while you are telling us. I don't know. A house maybe? And 200 plus viewers? Hey, sounds like a streamer to me. I think that's pretty reasonable. Are you like, I guess what kind of house would you want? Something cozy, something small, like a cabin in the woods type of thing? Yeah, 200 plus viewers in 2 years. I can see that. I can definitely see Shocks doing that. Nothing huge, nothing too small, just some place to not endlessly pay rent for. Gotcha. I feel that. Oh, I feel that. Hell yeah. So, it's funny that you say like you're really not concerned with being, like, you don't mind being in a relationship, but that's not something that you really genuinely care about. It sounds like you're just like, if I'm in one, I'm in one. If I'm not, I'm not, kind of thing. Yeah. Okay, gotcha. Shocks has a reply to my answer. Yeah, while Shocks is typing that, I will, oh, well, I'll do it in a second then. If I'm cool, if I'm not cool. That's what friends benefits are for. That is fair. Man, now more than ever do I hear you on that. I definitely hear you on that. So I think that's a pretty fair assessment, a fair desire to have, you know, a nice somewhere nice to live, and 200 plus viewers. Hell yeah. I believe you can do it, Shocks. And yes, you got this. I believe. and oh, a little bit more. You will try. Oh, I believe. I believe. I know you will try. You've been trying the entire time. Like, this entire journey you've been on has been just like, you're just doing your best to be fun, entertaining, and legitimately just try to make people happy, bring joy into people's lives, which is again, a very worthy mindset to have with regards to entertainment, for sure. If you had any advice to give to those of you, those people who are tuning in at the moment, it could be about anything. It could be about anything at all. What advice would you give to them? Don't give up. Internet friends are real friends. Don't overlook character flaws, even if they're your friend. Yes, I agree. The people you meet on the internet, they are real people too. And you should absolutely treat them as such. But also, because they are real friends and real people, if you know, they do something that is against, you know, something that you don't like, or something that is completely out of pocket, talk to them about it. Let them know how you feel about it. And if it continues, you know what to do. I agree. Very much, Shocks. Yeah. Love people, care about them. They are your friends, but, you know who your friends are, for sure. Absolutely. Hell yeah. So, with that, we are going to start wrapping things up. So, Shocks, where can people find you? Yes. Darling, you're adorable. But where can people find you? Let them know. Man, she's a cutie. For someone who says can be mommy, she's fucking cute. Alright, twitch.tv/shocks_VR. Twitter @shocksvr, no underscore. Or you can find me in Discord or your bed. Damn. Alright. Well, I think that is sufficient. I think that is all anyone would ever need to know. For sure. So there you go. That's where you can find Shocks. You know, she is out there creating content. She's being adorable, as you can see. She's being super fucking cute, adorable, silly, and yeah, of course, and just being entertainer as we all are. And when I say all, I mean you and me, because there is no one else here. It's just you and me. Yeah, we are very much entertainers here. So we do the things. We do the things and stuff. We can't help ourselves. We love to do what we do, for sure. So thank you very much, Shocks, for letting people know where they can find you. And yeah, nice. And when it comes to me, if you'd like to find me, you can find me at the usual places on Twitter, X, whatever, at Nefertiti. That is with 2 eyes. You can also find me on Twitch at Nefertiti with 2 eyes. So both on Twitter and Twitch, they have 2 eyes. And of course, those of you who are watching on YouTube right now, you can, you're already there. So congratulations. You've already found me on YouTube. So congrats. But if you're not watching this, you're watching this live when it's being recorded. Or in my bed later. Damn. Okay. All right. Yo. Hey, you don't have to cover with JK. It's okay. It's okay, Shocks. You don't have to cover it up. It's okay to be honest with your feelings. I have that effect on people. Don't get me wrong. I do. So. Yes, noted. Good, very good. I like that. So yes, if you're on YouTube right now, you can find me on, well, if you're watching this live, you can find me at Nefertiti with 1 eye. I was fortunate enough to find Nefertiti with 1 eye on YouTube. So if you want to follow me and support me on YouTube and the content that I'm creating there, just do at Nefertiti, and you can find me on YouTube as well. And also, If you want to keep up with updates about the podcast itself, I would encourage you to follow the Twitter account, Sweet Talking Pod. It's just spelled out. It's spelled the way that it's written. So Sweet Talking Pod. And that's where you can find information, updates about the guests that are coming on the show, that are going to be here with me. And yeah, that's how you can easily keep up with it. Or you can join my Discord, which there are links to that. I'm not going to put that on the screen, but there are links to that where you can find to join my Discord if you're so interested in that. And of course, last but not least, if you'd like to support the content that I'm doing and creating, you can obviously find me on Patreon, and you can support me there at patreon.com/Neferty. And I'm just glad that you guys are here. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you again, Shocks, for being here, for being such a great guest. And I really do appreciate you very, very much. It's been a pleasure getting to know you, and we'll be asking again some additional questions after. But I'm so very grateful to have had the opportunity to interview, again, someone who has been around the block. Again, very much a well-established streamer. She's going to be very humble about that, but please do check her out. She's a great time. She's very fun, and she absolutely will make your day and make you smile at least once. I can almost guarantee that. She's made me smile a lot in the last couple of weeks, and not because I was in her bed. So just letting you all know. She's a great entertainer, so do check her out. And yeah, the Pineapple Tiger will always be there, and the spirit of greed is always here for you as well. So thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you all in the next episode of the Sweet Talking Podcast. I've been your host, Neferty, joined with me with Shocks VR, and I hope to see you again real soon. Until then, bye-bye for now.